guys, welcome back to the Time to Watch channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Now if you enjoy the content that I've been putting out, please consider subscribing to the channel. It would mean a lot to me and I thank you so much for your support. So today, we're going to be doing an unboxing and review of the Parmigiani Fleurier Tonda GT Annual Calendar Chronograph. So here we have the white outer sleeve. I'm just going to slip it off, and inside we have a beautiful dark brown cardboard box with the Parmigiani Fleurier branding on top. Take the top off and let's see what we have inside. So inside we have the main watch box, which is black in color, and we have the Parmigiani Fleurier logo on top. Let me just slide that out. And inside here we have the watch. So let me just remove the cushion and the watch from the box, and we have the Parmigiani Fleurier branding here again. And what I love about this watch box, definitely one of the nicer watch boxes that I've seen. You know, a lot of soft surfaces, and the cushion is pretty broad, which is what I like to see. You know, just knowing that your watch will not be hitting the sides here. So we'll just take a quick look at the watch before we check out the contents of the box. I'm just going to remove it from the cushion and set it aside first. Okay, and in here we have the spare links. So for my 6 3/4 inch wrist, I removed 4.5 links. So it does come with half links, which is very convenient. So it will be able to be sized to your precise wrist size. Okay, and in this top compartment here, we have quite a few things. So we have a Parmigiani Fleurier branded card holder, which is very nice. And we have the user guide. And on this side we have, again, the Parmigiani Fleurier branded polishing cloth. So I've not used this yet, but I think just based on the feel of it, even from outside of the plastic, it does feel very soft and smooth. And lastly, we have the international warranty card. So it says Parmigiani Fleurier here, parmigiani.com at the bottom, and on the other side we have the reference number, and it says here 3-year international warranty, the date of purchase, and also the authorized dealer address and contact number here. Right, so we'll just put the watch box over to the side, and now we can have a closer look at the watch. So now let's take a closer look at the Parmigiani Fleurier Tonda GT Annual Calendar Chronograph. So this specific model was released back in 2020, and in my opinion, this is one of the most attractive pieces that the brand has produced since its formation back in 1996. So as usual, let's go over the dimensions first. So this watch has a case diameter of 42 millimeters, a thickness of 13.7 millimeters, a lug-to-lug distance of 48.5 millimeters, and if we're looking at the end-link to end-link distance, that would be 51 millimeters. And powering this watch is the Vaucher-made in-house caliber PF043, which is made up of 443 components. It pivots on 56 joules, beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and it has a power reserve of 45 hours. And through the display case back, we're able to see the beautifully finished movement and that 22-karat rose gold winding rotor. Now I will be adding a close-up shot of the movement at the end of the video, along with more photos of the watch in outdoor lighting and wrist roll videos as well, so do stay tuned for that. Now let's check out the dial. So when you're looking at this watch in person, you'll notice almost immediately that this silver white dial has a lot of depth and texture to it. At the center, we have a triangular guilloche pattern that is done really beautifully, and outward of that, we have a raised concentric circular pattern, and finally, we have the seconds and minute markers in the chapter ring. We can see the Parmigiani Fleurier branding at 12 o'clock. Directly below that, we have the big date window, which is another feature that I really love about this piece. And the 3 chronograph and running second subdials have a glossy black finish, which contrasts very nicely with the white dial. The one at the 3 o'clock displays the running seconds and the month window. I hope you guys can see that. So it says month and May. The subdial at the 6 o'clock displays the chronograph hours, and the one at the 9 o'clock displays the chronograph minutes. We have baton-style faceted hour markers that are inset within the concentric circular portion of the dial, and the delta-shaped hands that all have luminescent coating. However, I must admit that the loom is not really that great on this piece, as we will see later on during the loom shot. The chronograph features a vertical clutch, so the seconds hand does not jump when starting and stopping the chronograph. It is completely seamless, as we can see here. So let's reset the chronograph now. Very crisp and satisfying as well. And because this is an annual calendar, you will only need to adjust the date once a year at the start of March, so it will not know how many days February has. So on 1st of March, it would display either 29th or 30th of February, depending on whether it's a leap year or not, so you will just need to advance the date by either 2 or 3 days. But other than that, it knows all of the 30-day and 31-day months, so if you keep it on a winder or if you wear it every day, you will only need to adjust it once a year. Next, let's take a look at the bezel. Now what I absolutely love about this bezel is that we have both polished and coin edge finishing on it. Now I've never seen this done on any other watch before, and I just think it adds a lot of character to the watch. It's a small thing, but I feel it really enhances the look of the watch tremendously. Now the case is entirely polished, and I think this was done to make the coin edge bezel even more outstanding visually. Another design element that I really love is how the lugs extend out of the case, as you can see here. So this part actually extends out of the case. And this makes the watch look more sporty and also very unique because you don't see many brands executing their lugs this way. And on this side, we can see that the shape of the chronograph pushers actually follow the teardrop shaped lugs. And this, in my opinion, is a very brilliant example of attention to detail that makes us watch enthusiasts fall in love with the brand even more. Now, being a sports watch, we have a signed screw-down crown that gives this watch 100 meters of water resistance, and the size of the crown is sufficiently large, and the knurling is very pronounced, so it is really easy to unscrew, wind, and screw the crown back in. And I just wanted to mention that the winding of this crown is incredibly smooth and satisfying. You don't hear the clicks as you wind it, but it just feels really smooth, yet has the right amount of tension that makes it feel very premium. That's the best way that I can describe it. I think if you try it out for yourself, you'll know what I mean. Now let's check out the bracelet, which is one of the most beautiful and most comfortable I have ever seen and experienced. I particularly love the combination of brushed and polished surfaces, not just on the center links, but on the outer links here as well. So we can see the attention to detail from how the brushed and polished parts actually follow the bracelet taper all the way down and even at the clasp. So we still see both types of finishing even here. So polish on the outside and brush on the inside. And I think it just looks fantastic. So the individual links are relatively short and they wrap around the wrist very comfortably, as we will see later in the wrist shot. And we have a twin trigger release for the butterfly clasp, and the clasp snaps shut with a very solid and satisfying click. So it definitely feels very secure. And it is signed with the Parmigiani Fleurier branding here as well. So before we check out the loom, I just wanted to mention one of the downsides of this watch is that there is no quick set for the month indicator, and the date cannot be adjusted backwards as well. So if the watch has stopped for a long period of time, adjusting the date to catch up with the correct month and date can be a bit of a hassle. And if you accidentally adjusted the date forward too quickly, you have no choice but to wait until the power runs out, or you can pull out the crown to hack the movement for the actual date to catch up to the watch. I think this is something worthy to take note if you're considering this piece, but if you're gonna wear it every day, then of course this won't be an issue. So now let's see how this watch looks like on the wrist. So here is the Tonda GT on the wrist. So the 42mm case definitely gives this watch a lot of wrist presence, but at the same time, the lugs don't flare out of my wrist. Even though my wrist size is quite average at 6 3/4 inches or 17 centimeters, and I think due to the shape and angle of the lugs, this watch will wear nicely even on wrists as small as 14.5 or maybe 15 centimeters. Now from this angle, we can see how nicely it wraps around the wrist, which is another reason why I really love this watch. It is really, really comfortable to wear. So now let's kill the lights and check out the lume on this piece. So now I'm just going to power up the lume with my flashlight. So the lume glows with a green tone, and like I mentioned earlier, it is not very bright, and it doesn't last for that long as well. So I guess that is another downside of this watch. If you're going to be using it in dark environments often, it may not be the best choice. But then again, for me, I seldom have to rely on the lume to read the time on the watch, so for me that's not an issue. So that's it for the review of the Parmigiani Fleurier Tonda GT Annual Calendar Chronograph. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.